Haley's mom looked at me like I was something she'd scraped off her shoe. She slid a debit card across the table. $2,000. Take it and stay away from my daughter. Haley wouldn't even look at me. She was glued to her phone, probably texting him. I got up to leave. Her mom, afraid I'd change my mind, practically shoved the card into my hand. Get out. A month later, I was out on the range, moving a herd, when I saw a luxury sedan stuck deep in the mud. A woman scrambled out, looking frantic. She stared at the endless sea of cattle, her eyes wide. My dear son-in-law, I've been looking everywhere for you. Then Haley got out of the car. My mom said it's okay for us to be together now. I calmed my startled horse, giving him a confused look. That's nice, I said, but I got married yesterday. When I first heard the amount, I felt absolutely nothing. $2,000? That's barely enough for a new calf. Where I come from, the smallest wedding gift from the bride's family is 1,000 head of our best semental cattle. Our family business is worth millions now. You're a dirt poor kid from the sticks. You can't climb this high, her mom said, her voice dripping with disdain. Haley told me, you have this permanent smell of the farm on you. Being with you is an embarrassment to our family. She sneered. $2,000 should last you a couple of years, right? I didn't say anything. I just looked at Haley. She was still staring at her phone, a little smile on her face. I knew who she was texting. Kevin. That nerdy, broke kid from the biofarm program. The guy everyone called the campus pretty boy. He was on a full-ride scholarship meant for low-income students, but you'd only ever see him eating at the pricey custom grill in the cafeteria. The regular hot-line food tastes like garbage, he'd say. I can't stomach it. Ever since Haley met him, she'd grown cold. She told me Kevin had main character energy, that he was destined to be a CEO after graduation. Me? I just said I was going home to work cattle. She said she didn't want to be stuck in the middle of nowhere, turning into some leathery-skinned ranch wife. I guess that was that. Are you listening to me? Haley's mom slammed her hand on the table. I stood up and walked toward the door. Don't you walk away, she shrieked. I know your type. You won't take the money, you won't say a word, and then you'll go right back to clinging to Haley. Let me tell you, that's not happening. We've already got a list of suitable candidates for her, and you're not on it. Haley, say something. Haley finally looked up, her expression annoyed. She glanced at me. Cole, you should probably just go. Kevin's on his way, and I don't want him to get the wrong idea. I mean, you're still technically on probation with me. You should think about my feelings for a change. She then raised her phone and sent a voice message, her tone syrupy sweet. Kev, honey, take your time. I'm just dealing with a little something here. It'll be over in a minute. Then, her mom grabbed my hand and forced the debit card into it. There are security cameras in here. This is proof you took the money. You are to never, ever bother my daughter again. I couldn't help myself. I had to ask, Haley, you're really just going to let me walk away like this? You don't want to at least see the ranch before you decide? Haley barely looked up. Who wants to go to some ranch? I hear the whole place smells like cow manure. I didn't say another word. I just turned and left. I'd really hoped that if I found a girl I liked, I could get out of the arranged marriage my family was pushing on me. A union of two ranching empires. Looks like my dad was right. You can't find a city girl willing to marry a rancher. I walked out of the small office building that housed her mom's company. The city's sun was bright, but it wasn't as clean as the sun over the plains. The debit card was still in my hand. I tossed it in my backpack. Might as well buy a new calf with it. Give the herd something new to look at. Just then, a contemptuous voice called out, Well, if it isn't the cowboy. So I looked up. It was Kevin, gold-rimmed glasses and all, getting out of an Uber. The campus is only a mile from here, I said, confused. You took an Uber? Kevin's expression turned even more scornful. Have you ever seen a CEO walk to a meeting? I snorted. A calf that's born and can't walk usually gets a deep grave, so it doesn't contaminate the rest of the herd. Kevin didn't get angry. He just smirked back at me. And that's why you're going back to wrangle cattle, while He gestured expansively at Haley's family's building. We use this as my launching pad. From here, I will slowly build my business empire. If it weren't for the scotch tape holding his glasses together, I might have thought he was some trust fund kid surveying his property. I waved a hand dismissively. You do that. I'm heading home. Seeing that his grand declaration hadn't impressed me, Kevin yelled after me, annoyed. We're not in the same league. You and I. Go back to your cows. And don't forget to shovel the manure. He had no idea. Dried cow chips make the best fuel for heating and cooking. Clean and smokeless. Summer break started in 2 days. I'd booked a ticket on a Greyhound bus back home. I was putting it off as long as I could. My dad told me if I didn't find a girlfriend this summer, I was to come home and get married. No arguments. He'd already picked someone out for me. At lunch in the cafeteria, I got the standard $8 combo. 1 meat, 2 sides. Kevin called this peasant food and said if you ate it, you were destined to be a peasant. He, of course, was destined to be a CEO. Every time he said stuff like that, Haley would look at him with stars in her eyes. But I thought the food was fine. Everyone else was eating it. I was scrolling through my phone while I ate and saw Haley's new Instagram post. A picture of 2 plane tickets to Cancun. The caption read, "This summer is perfect as long as I have you." My roommate, Leo, saw it over my shoulder. "Dude, lucky you. Dating a rich girl means a summer trip to Cancun." I shook my head. "She's not going with me." Leo's jaw dropped. "You broke up." I nodded. "Why?" She said I was too country. Leo slammed the table. "We're all broke college students. What makes that pretentious jerk, Kevin, so special?" I shoved a bread roll in his mouth. "Could you be any louder? You want a whole cafeteria to know I got dumped." "Cole, why don't you just tell her what your family does?" I shook my head. "What is there to tell? We raise cattle." "You raise cattle?" "Dude, when we visited your place last summer." I shoved another bread roll in his mouth. Haley whined about the cow manure smell and refused to go. If she had gone that time, I bet you. I stuffed the last roll in his mouth. "Just shut up, man," I said, exasperated. He just sat there, looking indignant. Just then, Kevin's voice cut through the noise again. "Hey, cowboy, I heard you're taking the bus home." I turned. Haley was standing right next to him. I remembered then that I had used her account to buy my ticket and never logged out. My mistake. "Cole, don't get the wrong idea," Haley said quickly. "I was just worried Kevin would upset his stomach with the cafeteria slop, so I came to make sure he ordered from the grill. You know how he is. He can't eat the kind of food you eat." 3. I just waved it off. "We're not together anymore, remember? I took the money. Go thank your mom for me. When I use it to buy a calf, I'm going to name it Kevin." A look of pure disgust crossed Haley's face. "I could still talk to my mom, you know. It doesn't look good for me to only have one guy pursuing me. It's beneath my station." Leo couldn't take it anymore, spitting out bits of bread roll as he yelled, "Wow, you actually said the quiet part out loud. Haley, have you no shame?" Kevin pulled Haley away. "Stay away from them. You don't want their peasant vibe rubbing off on you. Let's eat on the 2nd floor today. The food is much more refined." Haley's scowl instantly vanished, replaced by a radiant smile. "Okay." They walked up the stairs, arms brushing against each other. Haley looked back over her shoulder, as if to explain again. "Cole, don't misunderstand, I just—" But Leo and I were already at the exit, and we didn't look back. A flash of anger crossed Haley's face. "Haley, why are you even bothering to explain anything to that ranch hand?" Kevin muttered, his voice tight with jealousy. "Your mom already paid him off." After all, Kevin's bank account had never seen more than $1,000. Seeing me get $2,000 so easily must have been killing him. Just you wait, Cole. Before I even made it back to the dorm, Haley's Instagram had a new post. A picture of 2 steaks, with 2 fried eggs shaped like hearts. Caption, "Everything tastes better when I'm with you." Leo saw it and nearly gagged. How did I never notice what a 2-timer this rich girl is? Did you hear what she said earlier? She doesn't want just one guy chasing her. What is she, a wild mare? Need the whole posse chasing her tail? I corrected him. You can't chase wild horses. They're protected. You'll end up making license plates. Leo pretended to get on his knees. "Brother Cole, is your ranch hiring? I'm an expert at shoveling. Get lost." On it. All jokes aside, his family was just as loaded as mine. Another one flying under the radar. Summer break was basically here, so classes were over. We played video games all afternoon. The dorm room door was kicked open with such force that the old wood frame groaned. Kevin, the self-proclaimed CEO who wouldn't leave me alone. He was back. "Cole, give me the $2,000 you got. If you don't, I'll report you to the dean for having an unexplained source of large funds." I was in the middle of a frantic team fight, my mouse and keyboard clattering. I ignored him. Kevin kicked the leg of my bed frame. "Don't play dumb with me. You think my family's money is that easy to take?" The fight was over. Thanks to his interruption, my whole team got wiped out. My roommate's face darkened as he got up and locked the dorm room door. This was the onset of his team wipe rage. Kevin, you better have a good explanation for this. Kevin took a nervous step back. Don't you touch me. I'm going to be worth millions one day. You can't afford to lay a hand on me. I'm just here today to get my money back. This has nothing to do with you guys. My hand left the mouse. I pulled out the debit card. You're saying, this is your money. For a greedy light flickered in Kevin's eyes as he snatched the card from my hand. That's right. Good. You know your place. Haley will be my first wife, which means her family's money is my money. A cowboy like you will never earn this much in your entire life. You want to climb up to my level? Keep dreaming. Leo was about to roll up his sleeves. I've never seen someone so shameless in my entire life. I held him back. Kevin, are you sure you want to take the money her mom gave me? Don't talk nonsense. This is my family's money. Are you sure you don't know why she gave it to me? I don't care about the affairs of a ranch hand. I laughed coldly. Then take it. The farther you go, the better. Before I could finish, there was a commotion in the hallway. Ma'am, this is a men's dorm. You can't come in here. Get your hands off me. Do you know who Kevin is? If something happens to him, can you take responsibility? Kevin. Then the door was shoved open again, groaning in protest. Kevin, are you okay? They didn't do anything to you, did they? Haley rushed in and started checking Kevin from head to toe, stopping just short of ripping his clothes off. Kevin patted her head fondly. Don't worry, I'm fine. Haley's face twisted in rage as she turned on me, hysterical. Cole, why are you so petty? What did Kevin ever do to you? You lock him in your room and won't let him leave. So what if I've been spending more time with him? It's not like we did anything wrong. Suddenly, she saw the debit card in Kevin's hand. Her eyes lit up with understanding. I get it. You were trying to use the money to make Kevin stay away from me, weren't you? Cole, you are pathetic. You think Kevin is the kind of guy who cares about a little bit of money? Let me tell you something. He's special. He told me his life is like a novel, and he's got the hero's script. Kevin's face took on a superior look. I tried to live among you as a common man, but all I receive in return was scorn. So, the charade is over. I'm done pretending. In the future, I will be the largest distributor for Green Valley Ranch in this state, the creator of a tri-state beef empire, with a market value of over $300 million. Cowboy, you could never have imagined it, right? That a person could become a multi-millionaire just by selling beef. I was genuinely stunned. A novel? The hero script? Was he living in a fantasy world? No wonder he was so delusional all the time, taking out student loans, but eating steak and taking Ubers everywhere. And did he just say Green Valley Ranch? That's my family's ranch. 5. Seeing the rapid change in my expression, Haley thought I was terrified. She snatched the card from Kevin's hand and threw it in my face. Cole, take your breakup fee and stay away from Kevin. I don't need a pursuer like you. I'm going to be a CEO's wife one day. Kevin opened his mouth and raised a hand, but said nothing. He just watched with desperate eyes as I picked up the card and put it back in my pocket. Seeing this, the disgust and contempt on Haley's face deepened. They walked out hand in hand. Just as you'd expect, Kevin shot me a final, triumphant look over his shoulder. I think I'm going to be sick, my roommate said in unison. Green Valley Ranch. Leo started to ask, but I put a finger to my lips to quiet him. There was no fun in revealing the truth this early. Just then, I got a text from my dad. It was a photo and a single line of text. The photo was of a girl with sun-kissed skin, smiling brightly, showing off a perfect set of white teeth. She was stunning. The text read, "You little brat, the wedding is all set up. If you're not back soon, you'll be shoveling manure for the entire summer." My roommates crowded around. Who's the bombshell? My sister. Hey, brother-in-law. Take me home with you for the summer. Get lost. On it. After a dozen hours on a bus, I finally met the girl I was supposed to marry. It was my childhood friend, Cassidy. The same tomboy I used to get into trouble with. She had grown up in the most unexpected and wonderful way. The news of our engagement and marriage spread across the region like a wildfire. It even made the business headlines. Heirs to Green Valley Ranch and Clearwater Cattle Co. To wed, creating unrivaled livestock empire. Haley's mom saw the news. With a trembling hand, she showed the phone to Haley. Honey, look at this. Doesn't the heir to Green Valley Ranch look a little bit like that ex-boyfriend of yours? Haley took the phone, her expression twisting into a mask of disbelief and rage. Cole. It really is Cole. How dare he lie to me? I'm going to find him and make him pay. 6. I galloped across the vast, open plains, the wind in my face. It had been over 2 weeks since the wedding, and I was discovering that Cassidy and I were a natural fit. After a few wild, honeymoon-like days, we settled into a comfortable rhythm, like we'd been married for years, already talking about the future of the ranch. Today, she was at the breeding facility, and I had nothing better to do, so I went for a ride to check on the herds. During this time, Haley had called me countless times. Afraid Cassidy would get the wrong idea, I declined them all. Finally, fed up, I blocked her number and all her social media accounts right in front of my wife. I figured she must have seen the news about my wedding. More importantly, she now knew who I was. A man of the plains doesn't have time for complicated, messy city romances. The block list was her rightful home. Suddenly, my horse shied, rearing up with a frightened neigh. I looked ahead and saw it. A luxury sedan sunk deep into the muddy ground left by yesterday's rain. Its engine was roaring as someone tried to gun it out. What the hell? Who let a car drive out onto the pasture? I soothed my horse, then dug my heels into its sides and raced over. I had just dismounted when a man got out of the car. Kevin? He glanced at me. I was wearing my traditional ranch clothes, so he probably didn't recognize me. Hey kid, here's $200. Go find some horses and pull our car out, Kevin ordered, pointing a finger at me. I ignored him, riding a slow circle around the car, assessing the damage to the grassland. My face grew darker and darker. This wasn't just a case of driving onto the pasture. He'd been joyriding, tearing up a full square mile of land. The entire section of pasture was horribly rutted and destroyed. Didn't you hear what I said? I'll have you know, I'm a future business partner of this Green Valley ranch. Seeing that I was ignoring him, Kevin's face contorted, like a king whose decree had been disregarded. He strode toward me and reached for my horse's reins. Back off, I roared. Kevin paid no attention, his hand not slowing for a second. My horse, already on edge, panicked again. It let out a loud whinny and reared up, its front hooves high in the air. The massive shadow of the horse fell over Kevin. In the next second, those hooves would have crushed his skull. Kevin froze, completely terrified. He fell backward onto the grass, forgetting even to try and move. I yanked hard on the reins. The horse's hooves slammed down, narrowly missing Kevin's face and digging deep into the soft earth. A dark stain spread across the front of Kevin's pants. I jumped off my horse and gave it a slap on the rear. It took off at a run, heading for the hills to graze. Kevin was still sitting on the ground, his eyes glazed over. Cole, is that you? My dear son-in-law, I've finally found you. Haley's mom opened the car door. Her eyes lit up as she surveyed the endless herds of cattle, and she rushed toward me, arms open for a hug. I sidestepped her. Haley got out of the car, her expression as arrogant as ever. Cole, don't get the wrong idea. Kevin was just worried about letting someone else drive, so he acted as my chauffeur for this trip. Also, my mom has agreed to let us be together. I stared at them, my face a mask of stone, as they continued their little fantasy. I'm married. I wasn't an idiot. I knew exactly why they had driven all this way to find me. Haley's face twisted. I'm not falling for that again. The news just said you were about to be married. You could just cancel the wedding. I'm willing to give you another chance. 7, give me a chance. Did she get kicked in the head by a bull? Haley, if you can learn to speak respectfully, I will treat you with the hospitality of the plains. But if you're here to try and destroy my marriage, then I'm sorry, but you are not welcome on this land. Haley opened her mouth to argue, but her mother cut her off. My dear son-in-law, don't be like that. I was just joking with you back then. That $2,000 I gave you, it was actually part of Haley's dowry. Oh, I pulled the debit card from my wallet. Yes, that's the one. Since you've already accepted it, you should take me to meet your parents. Let's set a date for the wedding as soon as possible. It would put my mind at ease. I tossed the card back in her luxury car. Good thing the price for calves wasn't right. I haven't spent any of it yet. Haley's mom broke into a sweat. What? What do you mean by this? How can you go back on your word after accepting the dowry? Do you want me to post this all over the internet? I cut her off. My family's tradition is to keep weddings simple. The day that news article was published was my wedding night. So, I'm already married. Please leave. No. Haley shrieked. Cole, you lied to me. You hid who you were. Was it all just so you could laugh at me now? So what if you're married? You can get a divorce. Just because you're married, does that mean you have no responsibility toward me? I was completely baffled. I couldn't follow her logic, no matter how hard I tried. Just then, Kevin finally snapped out his daze. I object. He scrambled to his feet, brushing the mud and grass from his clothes. One of his pant legs was still soaked. Haley cannot marry a man who's been married before. Then, to my utter astonishment, he extended a hand toward me, as if to shake mine. Hello, let's start over. My name is Kevin. I'm the future CEO of Starlight International. We're going to be business partners. I didn't shake his hand. I was afraid it was covered in pee. Kevin looked a little awkward, but managed a confident smile. It's fine. You probably think I'm exaggerating, but it's all destined to happen. Although your marriage has created a small wrinkle in the plot, Haley will still become my wife. I will not allow her to marry you. I remembered then what he had said. Haley's family was his first stepping stone, and Haley was to be his first wife. I looked at him, my expression grim. We can talk about all that later. Right now, I have a question for you. You were the driver. Kevin tried to look suave, running a hand through his hair. Don't get bogged down in the details. This is a necessary sacrifice on my path to success. I cut him off with a wave of my hand and pointed to the torn-up pasture around us. You've destroyed this entire section of the ranch. It will take at least 3 years for it to fully recover. We need to discuss compensation. You want me to pay you? Kevin looked at me as if I just told the funniest joke in the world. I am your ranch's future largest distributor in the tri-state area, with annual sales of over $1 billion. And you want me to pay for a tiny patch of grass? If I terminate my partnership with you, all the cattle you raise will be left to rot on these plains. My face was as calm as a frozen lake. So, you're not going to pay? I put my fingers in my mouth and let out a sharp, piercing whistle that echoed across the plains. In the distance, a faint rumbling began, growing louder and louder. The sound of countless hooves coming from all directions. A dozen ranch hands on horseback circled the 3 of them. The thunder of the hooves and the whoops of the riders left them stunned and speechless. What are you doing? This is a civilized society. Haley and her mother were terrified. We'll pay. Just name your price. We'll pay. Since she put it that way, I waved my hand and the riders backed off. I had a few of them stay behind to tow the car with their horses, and we brought the whole group to the ranch's main office. By the time they were seated in the conference room, Kevin's legs were still shaking. I sent someone to assess the damage to the pasture, and then had the accountant run the numbers. It came out to about $10,000. Haley's mom reluctantly took out her phone and paid via Venmo. Haley watched the whole thing with cold eyes. Kevin, however, had recovered and was now wandering around the office as if he owned the place. These office supplies are all outdated. They'll need to be replaced. TSK. Why are all the employees so old? How can they possibly keep up with modern trends? Cole, right? I have to say, your company's public image is a bit lacking. I'll have to seriously reconsider our partnership. I looked at him, still lost in his dream world. Your car has been towed out. You've paid for the damages. You should go now, while it's still light out. Haley's mom gave her a push. Haley maintained her aloof expression and walked over to me. Cole, I know you're still mad at me, but you really shouldn't misunderstand this time. Kevin was just my driver. I was speechless. Why were they all so delusional? Cole, what's going on? Cassidy walked in, dressed in her work gear. She wiped a bead of sweat from her forehead. The new calves are looking great today. I even helped deliver one myself. The little guy was up and running around me in no time. She turned and saw the 3 strangers. Oh, we have guests. I nodded. Yeah, some old classmates from college. Cassidy beamed, her smile as bright as the sun. Great. We're having a bonfire tonight. You should all join us. Haley's face darkened. She turned to me, her voice sharp. Cole, is this the woman who stole you from me? This dark-skinned farm girl? How can she possibly compare to me? I looked at the thick layer of foundation on Haley's face and was about to lose my temper, but Cassidy beat me to it. You've got a lot of nerve. You must be the girlfriend from college, right? The one who, on our wedding night, he told me was bought off for a lousy $2,000? Ha ha. I laughed at him all night. The heir to the great Green Valley Ranch, worth less than a single calf. Ha ha ha. The older ranch hands in the office all started laughing too. People who grow up on the plains have always been straightforward. Hey boss, with our 500,000 head of cattle, I don't think you can handle it. Not when you're only worth one calf. That's right, but it must be a special calf, worth $2,000. Must be a prime specimen. Ha ha ha. I roared. Are you guys ever going to let that go? And Cassidy, can we please not discuss what happens in the bedroom? Haley's face was beet red. You're shameless. You're disgusting. Slap. Cassidy's hand cracked across her face. Sorry, she said, not sounding sorry at all. I don't wait for revenge. It's a habit I picked up from raising cattle. After all, the wolves that try to steal our calves don't listen to reason. Haley clutched her cheek, staring in disbelief. You hit me? Cole, she hit your girlfriend. Aren't you going to do something? I said coldly, Cassidy, that wasn't right. Haley immediately looked triumphant, glaring at Cassidy with venom in her eyes. You only hit one side of her face. How's that going to look to other people? Oh, you're right, Cassidy said, rolling up her sleeves. Haley scrambled behind her mother. Sharon's face was a mask of fury as she shrieked at Kevin. Kevin, are you just going to stand there and watch Haley get beaten? Kevin, who was still inspecting the office, hurried over. He saw the swelling on Haley's cheek and glared at me. Cole, I am seriously re-evaluating our future partnership. An heir like you is not worthy of partnering with my Starlight International. I turned to our head of marketing, a big man named Hank. Hank, do we have a partnership with a company called Starlight International? Hank checked his computer. Nope, and I can't find any company with that name online, either. Nothing, I asked, looking at Kevin quizzically. Haley said viciously, Cole, Kevin is a future CEO. He's going to be your ranch's biggest buyer, controlling the beef and dairy market in 3 states. I'd advise you not to cross him. Don't bully a young man on his way up. I chuckled and said to Hank, Hank, write down that name, Starlight International. A smug smile spread across Kevin's face. Cole, I see you're a smart man after all. Before he could finish, I cut him off. Add that name to our blacklist. We won't sell them a single head of cattle. Cassidy chimed in, Clearwater Cattle Co. We'll be blacklisting Starlight International as well. Kevin's face went from white to red and back again, but he was still defiant. I have a script. This isn't how the plot is supposed to go. Cole, you're not even in my script. I'm telling you, this prairie is huge. Your family isn't the only one raising cattle. Hank, the marketing guy, let a booming laugh that made Kevin's ears ring. Green Valley and Clearwater and all their subsidiary ranches cover more than half of the rangeland around here. You want to buy cattle? You'll be stuck buying from the small-time ranchers. Kevin's face turned pale, and his legs started to tremble again. He looked at Haley. Haley, I've done all this for you. You have to marry me. Haley looked at his still damp pants with disgust, but her voice was gentle. Kevin, are you really the hero of the story? Why would the hero wet his pants? Kevin suddenly snapped. He grabbed a large vase and lunged at me. Hank, with surprising speed, snatched the vase away and executed a perfect shoulder throw, slamming Kevin onto the floor. Been a while, Hank grunted, a little rusty. Kevin lay there, dazed, muttering to himself, Impossible, this is impossible. I'm the main character. I marry Haley first, then I build my business empire. Something must have gone wrong. Yes, something is definitely wrong. I waved my hand, and the security guards came to escort the 3 of them out. Haley's venomous gaze was fixed on me. Cole, you'll regret this. You're an insignificant character in the script. You crossed the main character, and now you'll be erased. Regret? A man of the plains doesn't know the meaning of the word. The bonfire that evening went on as scheduled. Cassidy pulled me into a dance, free and uninhibited, without any of the prim and proper attitude of the girls back at school. Haley hadn't left. She stood far off in the darkness, her expression unreadable. Kevin was nowhere to be seen. The next morning, Cassidy and I were jolted awake by a frantic phone call. Cole, it's bad. We got a dozen dead cattle in the north pasture. They've been poisoned. My mind immediately flashed to Kevin. His major was biopharmaceuticals. Call the sheriff. By the time I got to the scene, the police were already there. Haley was there too. As soon as she saw me, she ran over. Cole, I overheard Kevin talking about poison yesterday, so I called the police this morning. Did I do good? I was about to step away, but Cassidy had already shoved her back several feet. Cassidy looked at the cows on the ground, some still twitching, and the pain in her eyes was like she was looking at her own children. That monster! The prairie will not forgive him for this. Sharon helped Haley up, her eyes shooting daggers at Cassidy. You little homewrecker! You stole my daughter's husband. You're nothing but a tramp. A few of the female ranch hands immediately surrounded Sharon. The sheer force of will of women from the plains was something a pampered city woman like her could not withstand. Her legs buckled on the spot. What's wrong with me calling out a tramp? This is my family's business. It's none of yours. Just wait until my daughter marries Cole. I'll have all of you fired, you hear me? Cassidy and I had no time to deal with her. We checked the cattle and saw that the dozen poison animals were beyond saving. For the first time, I felt real hatred. He could mess with me, but messing with my cattle was unforgivable. Scrawled on the side of the barn in chalk were several lines of text, the handwriting shaky and uneven, clearly written with a non-dominant hand. Those who don't follow the script will be sanctioned and erased. If you know what's good for you, you'll obey the protagonist. If you don't, there are bigger punishments waiting for you. I'm trying to decide which plague would be best for you. I figure if Green Valley is gone, a Yellow Valley or Red Valley will just pop up, right? This prairie has no shortage of cowboys. Kevin, I didn't believe in any scripts or alternate realities. I only believed that someone had hurt my cattle, and that person had to face the justice of the plains. Cole, if someone intentionally starts a plague, it could be a disaster, Cassidy said, looking at me with worry. I patted her hand. Don't worry, I have a plan. Haley's eyes were filled with rage. Cole, are you really going to flirt with this tramp right in front of me? Do my feelings mean nothing to you? Before Cassidy could react, the female ranch hands had had enough. Who do you think you're calling a tramp? That's the boss's wife. Working together, they picked Haley up and tossed her into a giant manure pile. Sharon shrieked curses at Cassidy and was promptly given the same treatment. The sheriff's department searched for days, but found no trace of Kevin. The plains were vast, and there weren't cameras everywhere. Cassidy was worried. If Kevin really managed to get his hands on a sufficient quantity of a pathogen, given the density of the livestock on the ranch, it could easily trigger a massive outbreak. The financial and reputational damage to the ranch would be immense. Pathogens aren't that easy to come by. Don't worry. If Kevin won't come out, I'll make him come to us. I called my father, who was on vacation. I got the old man's full support. A few days later, a news story broke across the state. Newly formed Starlight International signed strategic partnership with Green Valley Ranch to create a tri-state beef production and distribution empire. Less than half a day after the story broke, my phone rang. It was Kevin. Cole, what the hell are you playing at? Starlight International is the company I'm going to create. We'll give you the right to register it first. 11. I chuckled. We have a saying out here on the plains. A good horse is known by its ride, not by its bell. A good man is known by his deeds, not by his words. What's the use in yelling, Kevin? I'll be waiting for you at the ranch. If you don't show up, that script of yours might be in for a major rewrite. Kevin was hysterical on the other end of the line. Cole, don't think I don't know what you're trying to do. You want to trick me into coming there so the police can arrest me, right? Dream on. I'm the one who poisoned those dozen cows. What can you do about it? I'm close to getting the pathogen I need. Your precious Green Valley Ranch is finished. The script has already changed. In the next chapter, I, Kevin, will establish a new ranch and replace you. I knew he wouldn't be so easily fooled. So, I replied calmly, Kevin, you underestimate me. Do you have any idea how many cattle my ranch has? 500,000 at a minimum. Those dozen cows you poisoned. To me, they were a drop in the ocean. And besides, do you know how strict our biosecurity protocols are? Even if I pulled every single one of my patrols and let you spread your pathogen to your heart's content, believe me, I could contain the outbreak to 100 head of cattle, max. And you, Kevin, the great protagonist, you would have crossed a line from which there is no return. If you truly believe this is a fictional world, you've also seen that it has police and laws. For what you're planning to do, I guarantee you will spend the rest of your life in prison. Kevin went silent. He would never give up on his so-called destiny as the main character. I pressed my advantage. Starlight International is just a newly registered shell corporation. I can hand it over to you at any time. Kevin scoffed. You be that generous? Of course not, I answered flatly. You have to pass the trial of the planes to earn it. What trial? Kevin was still wary. I've sent you a location. I'll be waiting for you there to sign the equity transfer documents. There was a half-minute of silence on the other end, presumably while he checked the location. Cole, are you insane? This location is in the deepest part of the wilderness. How am I supposed to get there? I laughed coldly. That's why it's a trial of the planes. If you can make it there, I'll drop the charges for the poison cattle. I'll give you Starlight International, and you can continue with your hero's script. If you can't make it, then I'm sorry, but you will disappear from my world forever. Same time tomorrow. Don't be late. Kevin was quiet for a few seconds. Fine, you wait. I'm the protagonist. I won't be defeated by your so-called prairie. The plains aren't just grass. There are also swamps and wolves. We would see if Kevin really had plot armor. After hanging up, I looked down from the office window. Haley was still standing outside the main gate. The stench of manure hadn't driven her away. I went downstairs. Haley, I told you I'm married. We're very happy. Please stop bothering me. She said with complete conviction, I'm not going to marry you, because I will be Kevin's wife. I'm the designated female lead in the script. That's what Kevin told me, and it can't be wrong. But we can still be a couple, secretly. I'm okay with that. After all, with my status, it's impossible for only one man to pursue me. A CEO and a ranch heir. Both of your statuses are worthy of me. They're insane. They're all insane. That was the only thought in my head. Is this really how a normal person thinks? So you agree? Haley asked, reaching out to take my hand. Just then, her phone rang. She immediately snatched her hand back and answered it. Yes, Kev, honey, I'll go with you. Wait for me. She turned to me excitedly. Kevin invited me and my mom to go on a trek through the wilderness. Don't get the wrong idea, Cole. He's just my future husband, but I still love you. Love my cow patties. After saying her piece, she got into her car and drove off. Kevin, what a ruthless man. He was even taking those two with him on a cross-country trek. 12, I didn't know if Kevin's talk of scripts and transmigration was real or not. But I did know that the prairie has a way of punishing anyone who harms its creatures. Sure enough, Kevin did not arrive at our designated meeting spot at the appointed time. Instead, the ranch's security office received a distress call. When the rescue team arrived, they found 3 people near death, trapped in a swamp. Kevin had both of his hands on Sharon's shoulders, pushing her down, while only her head remained above the muck. The swamp was filled with the decomposing carcasses of countless animals. The methane gas they produced had knocked all 3 of them unconscious. Because Kevin had used Sharon to keep himself elevated, he was exposed to the least amount of gas and had the least amount of brain damage. When Haley and her mother woke up in the hospital, they didn't recognize anyone. The doctor said it was impossible to know if or when they would recover. Haley just kept muttering to herself, I'm the woman chosen by the hero. I'm a CEO's wife. I'm the ranch owner's wife. And Sharon kept muttering, 500,000 head of cattle at $20,000 a head. That's $10 billion. It's all mine, all mine. Kevin, on the other hand, was completely lucid. He just stared at me with pure hatred. I didn't bother with him. The prairie's punishment was far from over. The next day, Kevin escaped from the hospital. I knew the final act was still to come. When I received the call from the ranch and rushed to the scene, Kevin was already on his last breath. He was pinned against the wall of the cattle pen, his body pierced by countless bloody holes from the horns of a bull. In his hand, he still clutched a syringe filled with an unknown liquid. His expression was weak, but his eyes were wild. The script needed revisions. I was revising the script. You minor characters, do you have any idea who I am? If I die, your world will collapse. You will all disappear. Yesterday, when I heard that Kevin had escaped, I had given my staff instructions. Lock all the cattle pens, but leave the one for the cemental breeding bull unlocked. But boss, the breeding bulls are the most aggressive. They haven't been castrated. Leaving the gate open is dangerous. It's fine. We're expecting a guest in the next couple of days. Let's have our most enthusiastic bull give him a warm welcome. and make sure the security cameras are set to their highest resolution. It looked like Kevin had received the highest honor our breeding bull could bestow. He was dead before the ambulance even arrived. And my world was exactly the same as it had always been. The sun was rising over the plains, just as it did every day. Cassidy came over and took my hand. Cole, I had a dream last night. I dreamt that our world was a novel. You were the hero, and I was the heroine. I pulled her into my arms. I had a dream too. I dreamt that idiot Kevin transmigrated into the wrong book, and now he's arguing with the author. What happened in the end? Cassidy asked, her dark eyes blinking up at me, seeming to hold the entire prairie within them. I answered calmly, the author did a find and replace on the name Kevin. From now on, there's no such hero anymore, and my story, here on the plains, would continue happily ever after.